Good morning, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. Today is Wednesday, the 29th of January, and the moon is in Aquarius. In fact, as I stand here, in about less than a half hour, we're going to have a new moon in the sign of Aquarius, the start of the year of the wood snake. Of course, snakes are symbolic of transformation, shedding old skins, and a rebirth of sorts. Now, as you can see, we had a little bit of a frost last night, so I'm going to just try not to fall on my ass here. So just give me a second. Sorry about all the noise. I'll get down to where I'm not on a slant. And we'll talk about what's going on. So as many of you know, the Trump administration tried to pull a fast one. And of course, shock of all shocks, do something illegal, which they did. And they caused a huge uproar. This is the shock and awe. This is part of the plan, guys. So let's talk about how we're going to combat this plan. I think at some point we're going to look back at this time and say, thank God they were so sure of themselves, so sure of their point of view, because it woke us up to the reality that most of us have to live with. You know, America is a great country on many levels, but it certainly is a country that needs some improving. And I think that might start with the people in charge, but that's another story for another day. I don't want to really talk about that. I kind of want to talk about the astrology of the moment. So early this morning, we had a conjunction of Mercury and Pluto. I spoke of this yesterday. It occurred at 2 degrees of Aquarius. The Sabian symbol for 2 degrees of Aquarius is an unexpected thunderstorm, and it talks about things that you can't plan for, the power of the earth, and no matter how rich you are or how secure you want it, there are things that you have to deal with that are out of the realm of what is normal. And then today, then in about half hour or so, we have the new moon at 10 degrees of Aquarius. And the Sabian symbol for that is, what is it? Okay, well, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'll tell you the theme of it. And if you really want to know the Sabian symbol and all of this, you can check out my Moon Shadows episode that I did with Oni yesterday on this channel. We go into the chart and into just the general, situation, how it's expressed in the chart, and what we can do to plant a new seed. Now, the new moons are always about new beginnings, right? And of course this is a new beginning. It's also a new year when it comes to the Chinese calendar. We are close to the midwinter mark here in the northern hemisphere, and the Imbolc in pagan religion, as it were, or the pagan belief system. I don't like calling it a religion, because it's not really a religion. It's a joyful expression of our connection to nature, as well as our connection to spirit. But the idea of this one is that that when you're popular, this is the new moon, this is the symbol, you need to be humble. You need to be humble, and that we need to realize that we're not almighty and all powerful, right? So I know that we know that, except when we are together We're way more powerful, right? So for those of you who depend on the things that were stopped, I would just let's all just, for all of us, let's just calm down. Let's take some breaths. I said before that the things that he is trying to do, a lot of them will be illegal. A lot of them will be stopped. What this is really trying to do is throw people off their center, so they can come in and raid, and we'll be so sort of off kilter that, we'll be arguing with each other. I just put something up on Facebook. Is this what the Trump people, voted for? Was this it? And I know it wasn't it. I know this is, for the most part, this is not what people who voted for Trump voted for. I know that, you know that, and they are feeling probably quite defensive. So attacking them isn't going to help, certainly. But that's kind of what they want us to do. They being the people in quote unquote power, they want us to argue among themselves while they rob us blind. So we're not going to let that happen, guys. Aquarius is about group consciousness. It's about humanitarianism. It's about the power of the people. This new moon has a relatively close conjunction to Pluto and Mercury. The voice of the people, the voice of the soul of the people. It's time to have our voices heard. We cannot be afraid. If we're afraid now to speak, if this gets any further, it's going to be harder to speak. So it's time for you to call your representatives, tell them your concerns, and then talk to people that are reasonable to talk to and say, look, this is ridiculous. What's going on here? We didn't like it, but we were willing to work with him in the first term because we didn't have a choice. But I'm not willing, and you're not willing, and we're not willing to work in this term if this is what's going to happen. So it's time for us to raise our voices in unity. This new moon is going to give us the power, right? Or the opportunity, I should say. We always have the power, but there are times when things start and there are times when things don't. And I do want to mention, and I mentioned this before, that all of this stuff, signing all these crazy, stupid ideas, are all being done, all those god-awful, gigantic signatures of a 2-year-old, right? They were all done with Mars retrograde. Mars will be going direct towards the end of February 23rd, and then it comes forward in Cancer, the sign of the United States, Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus. It's all going to start to move forward, and things are going to start moving forward. And a lot of this is going to be found to be